record it on this computer because that way I don't have to necessarily be online. Well,
No.
so hello, Julia. How are you
Hi,
today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Okay, we had a nice Easter egg hunt on this end.
I saw it. It was really neat, like how you went out and hid the eggs, and it made me nostalgic because I haven't had a reason to do an Easter egg hunt since like when was the last time I did one? 2010 when my niece and nephew were little, and
Mhm.
we went out to the pinnacles on a hike and we hid them. But since then, I don't have kids, so I just don't do anything Easter related because I just don't.
Yeah, yeah. So, uh, in our household, yeah, we always celebrate Easter in that way, involving chocolate bunnies,
Mhm.
Easter egg hunts, things of that sort. And of course, Sword is not here right now. And anyway, she's too old for that.
Yeah.
Um, and Bo is actually too old for that too. He's 18, but I'm babying him. Do you think that's okay?
I think it's fine. Well, look at it this way, like, okay, even when I was in my 20s and I would visit my mom, we didn't do an Easter egg hunt, but she still did this thing where she would give us like an Easter basket. And even up until a few years ago, it just kind of over time, like she just didn't do that anymore because I don't know, it just things changed and we got older. But she used to do that for a really long time, just like as a gift. She would give us an Easter basket with some candy. And I always thought that's really cool. But not this year anyway. I mean, because I haven't seen my parents since like a Wednesday when I was off. I think it was like February 26th or something.
Oh, yeah. Well, I haven't seen my mother in a while. I call her every single day. We talk, and she is not as concerned as I am about the current situation. She's not
But
worried,
maybe
so
that
that's good.
might be good for her because at least like she's not worried about it. Because I know some people in an older age demographic, like they're having a lot of anxiety about it. And I can't help but think maybe it's because they're watching too much of the news. Like I feel like the news might not be helping in some regards. Like we need the information, but maybe the way they keep just only talking about that issue is causing anxiety among people, you know, just more
Yeah,
than is needed. Like we need to be aware, but I also feel like it would be nice if they covered some other news stories, because even if you go to just an online news website, I don't see a lot of other news stories. All they really talk about is like this.
yeah. Okay, so let's talk about hair. Uh,
Yes.
I'm going to ask you a question because you are more of a hair expert than me. If you saw the video of me hiding the eggs, you probably saw how frizzy my hair was in certain places, but not
Mm-hmm.
other places. Like, I mean, the hair that hangs down looked to me okay, but there were just certain hairs, maybe the ones that are turning white or whatever, they had a different texture and they were kind of frizzing around my head. What should I do about that?
Well, one thing you can do, and I'm going to be really honest with you, like all my life, just because of my texture, I have like wavy hair. Like the hair at the crown of my head tends to be a little bit more on the frizzy side, whereas the hair, I mean, it's similar with me on the lower part is like more smooth. And I
Mhm.
think it's just indicative of people that have wavy to curly hair texture that, okay, we have product saturation where this is a big thing. A lot of people, they go to salons or they have a lot of hair products where they're like saturating the crown of their hair with many, many products to like slick it down. Whereas, I think you can just put a little bit of coconut oil on your hair and it will smooth it down. But I also think people need to stop like feeling like that is a bad thing because it's just natural hair texture. And I like wavy hair and I like the way it looks. And I think, I don't know, it's cool. I think it's indicative of natural hair texture, but you can put a little bit of coconut oil on your hair. But mine does it too a little bit. And I feel like the weather, when it's really rainy or really dry
Yeah.
outside, it makes my hair frizz up a little bit more. But I think people that have wavy to curly hair texture, just that's indicative of our hair type.
Okay, yeah, and it has been very raining lately, and so there must be a lot of humidity in the air. And Bo didn't like the weather today outside. Usually he likes to go outside. If it's sunny, he likes to sun outside, and he just got his eggs as quickly as possible and went back inside.
That's so cute. One thing that I think is so funny about like just talking about growing your hair long or natural hair care that I don't really understand is I just shared last night, we were going to talk about that on Facebook, and somebody deleted me because I said henna can give you natural red highlights. And I don't know why that's offensive, because I just said I prefer it over chemical hair dyes because it's less caustic. But I don't understand why that's offensive, but I need to stop. I'm just going to stop wondering why, because it seems like you could say anything and somebody's going to be offended by it, you know?
How could that possibly be offensive?
I don't know. Like, okay, the woman that deleted me, I noticed like she, I hadn't talked to her in years, and she had messaged me something about, oh, what are you up to? And I noticed like she dyes her hair red, but I wasn't even paying attention. And I think maybe she saw that and she was just like, oh, like, but you know, if you want to use a chemical hair dye on your hair, I don't care. I'm not telling you like you can do that. I just, okay, this is my approach to it. This is why I like henna, because if you have dark hair and maybe a few lighter hairs, it will cover it in more of a natural way, because henna is a plant, as opposed to putting some chemicals on your hair, which can like break down your hair and cause damage, whereas henna can actually like strengthen your hair as a protein treatment, and it can condition like if you add coconut oil or milk. So I don't think it's a natural remedy for your hair, and women in India still use it. Like, so I don't see why people are so opposed to it. But I will say this, it's kind of funny right now. The thing I hear people miss the most are salons. Like, they're like, oh, I just wish I could get my hair cut and go to the salon, which, you know, I get that. But I've never been to a salon since 2008, and I learned how to take care of my hair myself because I never liked cutting my hair short.
Yeah.
The only reason I started doing it was because of social pressure from other women who said I would look better with short hair. But I never got that from men. It would always be other women that were like, you should cut your hair. It's more stylish. It's more fun. But over time, I don't agree with that. Like, because I don't understand, like, why is it more stylish to have the same hairstyle that everybody else has?
Yeah, I don't understand it either. I mean, I remember a long time ago, I had a friend who was in grad school. She was having financial difficulties and was trying to think of things to cut down on so that she could save money. And I suggested that she cut her hair at home, and that way she would save the salon fee, which is considerable, I think.
Yeah, they're expensive.
Yeah, and she said, oh no, I would never give that up. And I just don't get it.
It's really expensive. Okay. So I went to the salon for a brief period of time in my 20s. But by the time I was in my late 20s, I was getting tired of it because I thought I liked this hairstylist I found. It was at JCPenney's. Okay, one day I was supposed to substitute teach, but something weird happened where I didn't get to the job on time. And then they're like, oh my gosh, you didn't cancel on time, which was part of what I hated about substitute teaching, because they were very picky. Like, they would want you there, which I get. Okay, you can't, but this was a legitimate reason. I was riding the bus and the bus broke down and I couldn't get there on time, and they weren't understanding at all. They were just like, well, you should be here early. Like, for them, you have to be wherever they wanted. But if something happened to you, they're like, they didn't care. So I was like, I stopped subbing for a few months after that because I'm like, it was just extra income. But I was kind of bummed out that day because it was like, yeah, like, you can do anything you want for them, but then they're like, whatever, if you had like one time where you had like a transportation issue or a family illness, like, they're not understanding, period. So I thought, oh, I want to do something that'll make me feel better. And people always told me, oh, going to the salon will make you feel better. So this was back when I used to have a shorter hairstyle. So I started going to the stylist at JCPenney's, and I just got a longer layer haircut. And I got a lot of compliments on that. And it's funny because like women would say my hair looked better when it was styled in a salon than if I just did it my natural way. Like, not all women, but some women would say that. It's just like, but it's a social, cultural pressure thing, which, you know, if you want to be part of that, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's expensive because at first when I went there, it was only $30, which is not cheap. But the price kept going up and up. And if you had longer hair, they would literally charge you $30 more per like every few inches of the length of your hair. And then she would say, I need to come every few months because I should like get more treatments or like get highlights. And then she told me one time, she goes, yeah, I would never highlight my dark hair myself, that I kind of live vicariously through my clients. And she goes, and you're really nice, Julia. Like, you let me try things on your hair other people want. And I'm like, oh, okay. And it's just like, there were all these things over time that I just got turned off because, you know, I'm a nice person. But if somebody says something like, oh, well, you know, I'll just try something on you and like, you won't make a fuss. I'm like, well, okay, I just won't ever go to you again. So I decided I wasn't going to go to her anymore. Because the very last time it was up to like $120 because she wanted to try some highlights on my hair. And I just was getting tired of like mid-length hair cuts because I wanted to grow my hair longer. Not as long as now, but I just was like, you know, I kind of want to go back to having longer hair and not going to the hair salon because I don't really like putting chemicals on my hair. It smells bad. They make you sign a waiver. And, you know, there's a lot of things health-wise that are not good about using like PPD. Like, it's a chemical. They get worried about PPD being added to henna. Like, you want organic henna. You want to put or natural henna on your hair. You don't want one that has PPD in it. But they add PPD to henna or hair dye to make the color stick to the hair better. But the thing about henna is it does it on its own. You don't need that. But they put it in commercial hair dye all the time. But for some reason, hairstylists say henna with that is bad, but the salon hair dyes have that too. So it doesn't make any sense. So long story short, I just decided to stop going to the hair salon, like go for longer haircuts. I have trimmed my hair on my own for years, and I had a way I did it, but then I heard about the Faye method, which is similar to what I do. All it is really is like you get your hair like in a ponytail, and you just kind of bring it towards the end, and you just kind of like hold the ends, and you can like trim the ends like that. And that's the method I use. But there's other methods where I've seen women on YouTube where they want layers, where I don't really do layers, but they flip it above their head and they cut it like that, but it'll give you long layers. Like, there's different ways you can trim your hair, and you can do it yourself, and you don't need a hairstylist, and it's free.
Okay. Now, my hair is not as long as yours. If I wanted to trim it, could I do it the first way you showed, or
yeah, you can do it the first way. So all you do, and it doesn't matter about length because I've always done it that way for years, even before I heard it was called the Faye method. I just did it that way, where I need like a hair tie to demonstrate. I'll just pretend like this is a hair tie, but you can use it. This is not a hair tie. This is like a hair band. You just put a hair tie in your hair. You twirl it around a couple times. And then you just bring it down. Like, I do it tighter when I trim it, but you can bring it down to the end where you want to trim it. But the good thing about wavy hair is, even if you use that method, wavy hair or to curly hair is more forgiving. So even if it's not like precisely straight, it looks good because it just works very well.
My hair has this tendency, I'm showing you the really bad ends that I have. Some of it is so long and some of it is so short. And it depends on whether I bring it to this side or the other side. It does make a difference, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So which side should I bring it to if I'm going to do it that way?
Okay, so when you bring it to this side, do you feel like it looks a little bit longer on this side or that side?
I don't know. I'll let you decide. You're watching me do this, right? So this is me trying to straighten this out. And on this side, it goes all the way down to here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now we're going to try the same thing on the other side. I don't know. It looks different, doesn't it?
It does look a little bit different. Maybe the first side would be better.
Okay.
Another thing I could recommend too is, I don't like, your hair is a little bit more on the curly side than mine. Is the curly girl like trimming method? I don't really know how to explain that one because I don't do that on my hair. But there are a few videos on YouTube where women show, because I think it looks great, like the way that your hair looks. Like, that's how curly hair is. It's not going to be like, I like it. Like, it's not completely straight across. But here's the thing too, even if you just do it this way, I think it's more forgiving because it's wavy and it has like that spirally look at the end. So it looks nice. I like it. You know, it's just the natural look of curly hair. But that's why the curly girl method has become so big, is because a lot of people got tired of being told that they had to have their hair like, you know, like flat irons stick straight. They got tired of being told like it only looks good or culturally acceptable if their hair looks that way. But people love, like, I think curly hair is pretty, and I like that it doesn't look 100% straight across. Does that make any sense? I don't know.
Yeah, it makes sense, but I've always had trouble with hair cutting. Hold on a moment and I'll show you a really bad haircut that I had when I was 7 years old, okay?
Okay.
You can tell me what.
So anyway, another thing I can recommend is, like, one thing that's really cool about just doing your own hair is you do save a lot of money. And I do, like, when it comes to shampoos, I don't spend a lot either. So I was
Okay,
just gonna.
here's the haircut. Can you see this?
That looks like a bowl haircut. Did they put a bowl over your head and cut the hair?
I don't know. It was
I
my
think.
mother wanted me to have short hair because she thought it would be easier to comb it. And at that time, I didn't even have access to a brush. I only had a comb.
That
And
actually might be better for your hair type sometimes, depending. Brushes are good, but sometimes some people say the wide tooth comb is easier. I don't know. Which do you think is easier, comb or brush, like with your hair texture?
I use a wide tooth comb in the shower,
Mm-hmm.
to detangle.
Mm-hmm.
But then I use a brush, for my everyday brushing.
Okay, well, I think a mixture of both. But I think what it is a lot of parents don't want to take care of their children's hair, so they're just going to cut it really short, or they're going to complain about brushing it. This was one thing about my mom is I had long hair, but I didn't even like her styling my hair because she would complain the whole time that it was like that I didn't keep stationary when she brushed it. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
and she
that's
would
the complaint. Yes.
pull really, really hard, and I have a tender scalp, and she'd be like, and I'd be like, ow, 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 and she's like, no, this is how you do it, and she does that to herself, and like she literally, and I don't like that because I feel like one thing I notice is now that I take care of my own hair, like it's nothing criticism of somebody else, but if somebody's pulling on your hair like that, it just thins it out. Like it doesn't need to be done that like that.
Right.
Like that's, so I feel like a lot of parents are, they're not hairstylists or they don't want to learn anything about hair, so they're going to say, oh, like a child should cut their hair short because it's easier for them to take care of, or they're just going to complain when they do a kid's hair. But I think the best way is if you're going to have your child have medium to long hair is you're going to have to spend some time helping them brush it. It's not a problem. You shouldn't begrudge doing it.
Yeah, that's why when my daughter was growing up, no matter how many problems we had keeping her hair detangled, uh, I didn't ever cut it unless she wanted me to cut it. And there was one time when she definitely wanted me to cut it because she had a friend she
Yeah.
wanted to look like. So,
Aw,
I said, okay, we'll do it and we'll save the hair. But
that's
I never
nice.
made her, cut her hair.
But I think, yeah, people do like, okay, I do see a lot of people like they kind of they for like at a young age. One thing I don't really get, and some people will probably take this as criticism, and you can if you want, is why are you getting a 4 and 5 year old child to go to the hair salon to have their hair dyed? I find that very troubling to me. Like, why can't they just be a hair trim? I get, but there's some people like they want the daughter to be a mini me kind of thing,
Yeah.
and I'm
Yeah.
not. Maybe this works with some families, but I'm just like, I don't know. And then they complain the kid doesn't want to sit in the chair. And like, to me, if I had kids, I would just think, well, one way you could save money is by trimming their hair at home. It's free,
Yeah.
or not too much money because you want a nicer pair of scissors. Like, one thing I will say is craft scissors are not the best for cutting hair. Use them if that's all you have. But if you are going to buy a pair of scissors, buy one that's just for hair. And I have a pair. It's not extremely expensive, but it's just for hair.
Okay. Yeah. I don't have a special hair pair of scissors, but I think maybe we used to have one at home when I was growing up.
Yeah, and if you just have regular scissors, that's fine too. But the only reason I'm mentioning hair scissors is they tend to cut hair a little bit more smoothly, and it's something you can keep for life. It's not like you have to buy a new pair all the time. It's just if somebody's gonna buy a new pair of scissors for trimming their hair, they like I bought a pair at Walmart for $6, and they're good forever. They're not gonna go bad or anything.
Right. Do you think that part of Walmart is still open?
Where I am, they are.
Okay.
But I know some states, like, they're cutting off parts. Like, I don't understand, because here, like, Lowe's, like, is being slammed, grand slam, because the garden store is considered essential in California. But I don't know, that could change, since I heard in Michigan they're not going to let you buy seeds or something anymore.
Yeah, their entire garden section is closed, and I think maybe not in all of Missouri, but certain parts of Missouri, they're following that in certain cities. Um,
Kind of strange. Well, and the one thing too that doesn't make any sense about continuing this, like, for longer periods of time, is you used to be able to get out in and out of the store really fast and get what you needed. And if you make it to where only parts of the store are accessible, but everybody's off work, they're not all going to stay home. They all have to go get groceries. So you're going to have a long line. So just probability wise, it doesn't make any sense if you want people to distance themselves to continue this.
yeah,
You know.
yeah, that's true.
But hey, it's not about hair. But hair wise, I think, like, hair's, it's easy to have long hair, but it can be difficult too, depending on, like, what you want. Like, I don't want to go off on a tangent, but I like having long hair, but I do keep it braided a lot. Like, for me, because once my hair got past, I would say, lower back, I just always keep it in a braid anyway. Like, for me, that works, because if I go outside, my hair kind of gets caught on things. And I would wear my hair down, but I got annoyed. It wasn't with me, but, like, one time I went somewhere with my dad, and he was getting caught on my hair, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you're just, like, walking too close to me, and you're getting caught on my hair, and it would annoy me. Like, I didn't want my hair getting caught on everything. So that's why I braid my hair a lot. So for
Well,
me,
yeah, for me, it was always putting it in a bun. Because once I put it in a bun, it looks as if I have short hair. You know, it's very easy to do. And so, like, for instance, I have to take care of Bo, and some of that is messy stuff. You know, I have to take care of stuff that could potentially get in my hair if I didn't. So I just put it up like this, and it looks like I have short hair, right?
yeah, and I like it, and it looks professional. Like, let's say you were teaching or in the office and you want to put your hair up.
Right,
It's easy.
exactly. Braiding did not work that well for me. I mean, I do know how to braid my hair, of course, but what would happen is if I kept it braided too long, it would get tangled and it would be hard to unbraid
I
later.
understand. Yeah, like, I think with curlier hair, I don't think braiding's ideal. The only reason I do braiding is because I love the way that buns look. But if I wear one in my head for too long, I do get pain. The only way I can really I was wearing my hair up for a long time, but I kind of regret doing that, because I feel like I got some breakage when I did it. I mean, I could be wrong, but I feel like I just see more breakage on the side than I used to have. I don't know.
Yeah, and your kids kind of try to emulate you when they're little. So there was a time when Sword tried to style her hair to look like,
Oh,
and I had like a one hair that went like this, so she tried to style it that way.
it's cute
And
though.
and Bo, you know, when Bo was little and he saw that I was putting up my hair, he would, you know, obviously he doesn't have long hair because his hair doesn't grow long. And he would just try to squinch it together so he could do that too. He wanted to get it in
Oh,
fun.
but I like how you wear your hair up. It's a really easy way to just, like, put it out of the way. And then it goes to show you, you don't need to cut your hair. Like, you could have long hair and just put it up. Like, why do you
Right.
need to cut your hair when you can do that? It makes no sense.
Yeah.
But then here's this, like, it's kind of the same thing with the restaurants. Like, I miss sometimes going out to get coffee, but I don't really need to do that. But it seems like when it comes to hair salons, no criticism to anyone, people are, like, having panic attacks, and they're like, this is essential. Like, oh my God, I'm gonna look so horrible. I can't go without my haircut. Like, I need that. But I guess I just don't feel that way, because I gravitate more to wanting to do my own hair. But I
Yeah.
think even if you want short hair, there are a lot of tutorials on YouTube on how to cut your hair short. I
Mhm.
don't think it's undoable, because I don't even think that every hair salon makes people happy. Like, I've heard a lot of people say it took them forever to find a stylist that they liked. So I think, like, if you really want to still have short hair under these conditions, you can do that. But I just find it easier to have long hair because it's less maintenance in a way.
Right. Now, if people want to use henna to condition their hair or to dye it, What is your recommendation about where they should get it?
Well, I always got it on Amazon in the past, and there's many different brands you could buy. I just tend to buy Light Mountain because that's the brand that I liked. But I think you told me about henna, and I'm kind of interested about them, like because you said you really like that particular brand, right?
Yes, yeah.
So I
It's
would say,
available on Amazon.
yeah, I would. Well, see, so maybe they could try henna. One thing I don't really love about White Mountain is sometimes it's kind of gritty. But you told me henna wasn't gritty; that it would mix together pretty smoothly.
Well, it depends on what you mix it with. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
so I was using uh, milk that had a lot of cream in it.
Then it should mix together pretty smoothly. But here's
Yeah.
the thing, like I would use full fat coconut milk and sometimes it'll mix together smoothly, but other times it won't. But I've heard a complaint about Light Mountain's henna is it's not as finely sifted as some of the other brands. So this is why I want to try the henna, but I still have a lot of Light Mountain, so I want to use that up first. Is I wonder if they sift their brand better. That's all. Like I'm just curious.
Oh,
Like if
I'm just wondering what's available right now. Are they shipping that? Is it something that is imported, and would there be a difficulty getting it now?
They probably still have reserved stock because let's be honest, like I don't think people are as interested in henna as we are. So if you're into long hair, like you can find it like still. But I'll tell you where I can definitely find it right away is you just go into Sprouts and they still have it right now. That might not be the case 6 months from now, but if we continue down this path, but right now you can still find it. Like
Okay.
at Sprouts, if you have a Sprouts.
Yeah, we don't, but I'm sure it's of value to whoever is listening to this.
Yeah, and I really like Sprouts. Like I love the Alethea. It's kind of pricey though, but it's a big bottle. Like I got their conditioner, but then I'm kind of funny because I use a mixture of cheap and expensive shampoos and conditioners. I just use whatever I like, really. And I
Yeah,
don't
I
wash.
like to change them around because your hair gets used to stuff, and then it's not as receptive. So it's nice to change them around.
That's true. And I don't use a ton of shampoo. Like shampoo can last me forever, but conditioner I go through really
Yeah, me too.
quickly. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't last. And I kept thinking like I would love to be sponsored, like to do like get free shampoo and conditioner. And I didn't get that kind of an offer, but I got an offer before lockdown, like for headbands or something. But I just never followed up on it because I have like like you can get like the cute headbands at Walmart or the dollar store. So I just didn't. Okay, like their headbands looked cute and everything, but they were charging like $7, and I just didn't really like. Okay, you get a free headband, and you had to do a review and a video about it, and it just seemed like a lot of work for that, so I didn't follow up on it.
Okay.
But that was just like one hair sponsorship experience that I had. But some people like in the long hair community, okay, this is interesting. Just kind of side note is people are like they have all these different products and people think oh they buy them that they may have bought them in the beginning but the companies send people I don't know if they're doing this as much anymore but they used to send people free products just like in any beauty industry and if they're doing a video about it some of it might be free stuff that a company sent them so
Okay. So you would say that being in the topic of hairstyling, that is more lucrative maybe than other topics. Would you say
that's
that?
kind of what I finally figured out because I in Hub Pages say I never really made a lot with my crafting or history of book hubs, and I was always like, why is somebody who's writing about like I don't know romance and like self-help or hair like why are they making more than me and then I found out like I really thought about it I wasn't researching it because I just wanted to write about what I wanted to write about is that certain ads are more lucrative because more people are gonna like look for a hair care product or search for hair than they will search for like I don't know I love like Ottoman history but I don't think like the general populace is searching for how Suleiman the Magnificent was the codifier of the law like I don't think that's a topic that people are searching for heavily whereas they might be searching for how to style your hair at home.
Okay, well, that's a good tip. Uh, yeah, and on that note, I think we did cover some interesting ideas about
Yeah,
hairstyling at home. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day, Julia.
you as well, Aya.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.